right, everybody. Welcome back to the Off-Beat Sports Podcast presented by Drink True. Today, we're joined by Casey Finney. Casey played high school football at Marshfield High School and Nobles. Casey decided to keep it local for college, and he's going to go to Boston College next year. So thanks so much for joining us, man. We're very excited to talk with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's good to be here. That was a nice intro.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, I used to play basketball with Casey. So when he gets like to the big leagues in the NFL, he's gonna remember me, and he'll be like, I played basketball with that kid. I'm gonna throw him some money here.
Yeah, bro, for sure.
When Cross is on homeless and he lives on a box on the side of the road, he'll be like, here's $5.
Bro, I'll hook you up, man.
All right, so in your recruiting process, you received offers from Michigan, BC, UMass, Princeton, Brown, Harvard, Penn, Army, Georgetown, and Yale. And originally, you were committed to play at Michigan. So, what led to that original decision with those programs to play at Michigan?
Well, I got to a point where I just decided that I thought it was just time to make a decision. So I just weighed all my options, and at the time. Well, because BC had just gotten a new staff, and I wasn't super familiar with them, and wasn't really sure how it all pan out here. So, and the Michigan coaches were really on me to try to get me to commit there. So, I just decided with my family that would be the best choice for me. I mean, it's a great school, and there's no love lost there either. I still love all those coaches, but it was just, at the time it was just the best decision, and I was very excited at the time too. But I mean, how can you not like a program like Michigan? I mean,
they put out great defensive players in the last few years in the draft. We've seen even in New England, we have 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, right. I know, and Chase Winovich, he's here now. Kwity Paye is coming out right now, but yeah, Devin Bush, they got endless list of guys. And I was very tight with the defensive coordinator. He was actually a coach here at BC for a while, Don Brown. But as it got closer to the season, it kind of was looking like they weren't going to have the best record, or maybe going to lose some games that they probably shouldn't have lost. And in that business, especially that staff at the time, they were kind of on the hot seat because, they're expected to win every game. And Coach Hafley was recruiting me pretty hard when I was committed to Michigan to flip over and stay home. So just as it got closer to I think it was the end of summer, I ended up flipping, and it just ended up being a much better fit for me. I'm incredibly happy I decided to do it, because the Michigan, my guy at Michigan ended up getting fired too. So he's at Arizona now, but it just worked out for the best, really.
So you were talking about how BC got a new coaching staff. They got a whole new staff. They brought in a new quarterback, everything this year. I kind of kept up with them a little bit. They actually had a pretty good season in comparison to what they've been. And I think they were eligible for a bowl game, but they actually turned it down. So I'm assuming that probably led to some part of your decision was seeing the positive trend in their program.
Oh, 100%. Because they lost some games they shouldn't have lost to. They were up in, and you got to realize, Clemson game, North Carolina game was close. There's a couple games they shouldn't have lost. But you have to remember, a new staff came in, a bunch of new players, and there was no spring bowl. So all they had was summer to get ready for that season with all new people. So what they were able to accomplish, especially against some really, really good teams, was that team last year could have had 8 wins easily, and they had no spring ball and not a lot of preparation. So
I forget the quarterback's name that they brought in, but
Phil Jurkovec.
Yeah, that's his name. It was I remember it was a really odd name. I know he had a better season for them than everyone expected. And they were definitely better than everyone kind of thought they were going to be, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of buzz around. I'm actually at BC right now. So I left high school. Yeah, I left Nobles early to enroll early here. So I've been obviously doing the lifts, all the practices and stuff. We start spring ball in 18 days too. So that's exciting.
Well, it's good for you to walk into a program that's already on the rise, because it helps you, being a guy that's coming up in the program, to be in a program that's also trending upward rather than a program that's stagnant. Not saying Michigan is at all that. I'm just saying that BC's on the rise, and it's good because it's local for you, so makes it better.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't think there's many better places to be right now. I mean, like a new coach with this is going to be so his first group of guys, his first recruiting class here now. So I came early with the class of 21 with like 11 other guys, which is also like there's never been that many guys to come early. So like things are being taken a lot more serious around here, especially with Coach Halfley. Like we're getting the locker room redone, all the coaches' rooms are getting redone. Just like everything's looking up, like everything's trending upwards.
Yeah, there we go.
Good to hear.
So from playing basketball with you, I've been able to see firsthand how much of like an athlete, like a phenomenal athlete you are, and how competitive you are. Where do you think this drive to be the best comes from?
Man, probably my brothers. Growing up with two brothers, we just like, especially my older brother Jackson. He plays baseball at UPitt right now. He's a freshman there. He just bullied me for like years when we were younger. We were just always competing, and just like if one of us beat the other in something, like we took it personal, like it was like a big deal. Like we would just fight all the time and always compete. It's 100% where it like originated. Like I just been competing with in everything I do. Like even like whoever could finish their food faster at dinner. Like every aspect of my life was competition from when I was, as far as I can remember. So it's just, I don't know, it's kind of all I know. So it's just, you always want to try to compete to be the best, because why would you not? Like, why would you not try to just be the best self you can?
Well, I remember. So when I played you when I was younger, you weren't that big. You were like, I mean, you were like kind of tall, but you weren't that like strong. And then you walked in the gym for tryouts, and I didn't even recognize you. I was like, who the hell is that? And they're like, that's Casey. And I was like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
And then we had that game. I know we just like kind of talked about it in this was just like one of the like sickest athletic feats I've ever seen. Like I seen some Nog do some crazy things, but the kid was at the free throw line on a fast break already. You were at half court. You chased him down, swatted in his face. The kid went down hard. Then the funniest thing, the kid gets up fast to try and get in your face, sees you, and just like looked like he just shit his pants and just walked away because he just saw like how big and like athletic you were, and he was like, yeah, I can't do that.
I was absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is just not okay.
Yeah, you don't really get a lot of like my build like in basketball. So playing like then, like that period of time is fun because like you can do whatever you want because no one else really like is kind of like built like in that type of way. So it's like kind of like get to do what you want out there.
Yeah, nobody wanted to screw with you.
Yeah, so it was pretty good times.
So your junior season, you were named a Sports Illustrated All-American. You were a candidate. And so what did that mean to you?
I mean, it's cool just to like see it. Like you get the little edit and everything, but like at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter too much. Like all like the high school accolades, especially once you get to college, like no one cares what you were ranked, like what awards you got. Like it doesn't matter. Once you step foot on campus, like college campus, like you're at the bottom. Like you have to work your way up. Doesn't matter who you are, what you were, like everyone's the same. Like so, like all like the accolades and all that stuff, it's cool. Like it's like makes you feel good for a second and everything, but like it doesn't mean anything. Like once you get here, it's just all about work, like nothing else.
One from the guys I've talked to, just because I took a year off, so I'm going to be in the same class as you. I'm going to be a year later. The guys I know that are already going to college to play football, whether it's D2, D1, D3, they've said it's completely different. You start from the bottom. You're like nothing. Even if you were an amazing athlete, if you were an all-star, everything, you don't step in a big role. You have to work your way up. So I understand where you're coming from. I haven't been there yet, but I see what you're talking about just from hearing other people talk about it too.
Yeah, 100%. Because like you got to earn it every time when you get here, and like there's no days off. There's no like reps off. Like you're being, like especially here, like you're being watched. You're being timed in everything you do. There's interns and obviously all the strength coaches around watching everything. So you got to go balls to the wall with everything you do, and obviously that is for the better, because if you're giving 100% in everything you have in the weight room, like you're not missing any reps, you're not messing anything up, like you're gonna see the results.
All right. So, what NFL player do you watch that you try and like model your how you play after?
Got to be Luke Kuechly. I mean, his picture's hanging up in our practice facility, right in the big field house. So obviously BC guy, one of the greatest NFL linebackers of all time. And I feel like it'd be a wrong answer to say anyone but him. I mean, I think the best part about him is how smart he is. Like you hear stories about him, what he'd do to study film, and like he'd call out the other team's plays. Like there's this one story about him telling a guy what to do on offense because he forgot what to do. Like he knows what the other team's doing. And I think that's the perfect way to be able to play fast. Because like you hear guys that are fast, physically fast, but if you take like a guy that isn't as fast and knows everything, knows exactly what to do, the positioning, what is likely to be run by the offense by formation, stance, splits, that guy's going to play faster every single time. So it's all about preparation.
I can definitely agree with that. I think it's more of like your preparation can beat any kind of physical. I mean, it to a point. Like if you prepare enough, even if you're not the fastest guy on the field, if you know what you're doing in every single play, then you're going to beat the guy who prepared not enough and is just more athletic than other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously there's a threshold of like athleticism, but like, yeah, you take guys that are even like a decent amount away in like athleticism, and the guy that knows what he's doing. I mean, he's gonna look that much faster just because he knows what he's doing and he's comfortable.
So we talked about BC and kind of how they're on the rise and all that stuff, and they had a good season. So, and you just told us how you're there now. You left high school early. You're there for the spring ball and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So going into your actual freshman season, when you guys are going to play your actual season in the fall, if that's when they do it, what are your expectations going into that? Or even for spring ball, just like your first on the field experience with your team, as far as being on the field together in a game. Like, what are you expecting out of that?
I mean, spring ball is gonna be fun. There's a lot of guys returning, so there's gonna be a lot of experience out there. But there's also gonna be a lot of mistakes. I mean, and that's gonna be expected. That's why spring ball happens. But it's also a time to compete. Like spring ball is when you go out and like earn spots. Like obviously you're gunning for a spot every day, but like you can show yourself at spring ball. And like someone like me, like obviously I just got here, everything's new. There's gonna be mistakes, but you just gotta learn and keep moving. And for the season in the fall, I think the team's gonna have a really good year. Like the schedule is obviously tough. There's a lot of good teams in the ACC right now, but we got a lot of weapons, a good defense, a great coaching staff. I think we're gonna make some even more noise than what BC did last year.
Yeah.
What would you say your long-term goals for your football career are? You looking like for a path to the NFL, or you just want to play your college career and see where it goes?
Yeah, that's obviously a common question because like it'd be cool obviously to play in the NFL, and I mean I'm gonna do everything in my power to be the best football player I can be. If that lands me in a position to play in the National Football League, then that'd be awesome. But I mean, BC's a great school. That's a lot of the reason I came here too. So life after football, I mean, that might be more important to me because like football's only gonna last so long. Even if I do make it in the NFL, get an opportunity to do that. So obviously that's a goal and something that would be like, I mean, a lifetime accomplishment. That means how many people would wish to be playing the NFL. So yeah, obviously that'd be awesome, but there's a lot more to life too, I think, than just the NFL. So I guess we'll see.
I think a lot of guys talk about that before especially like when you're going high ups in the D2, like Kyle Duggar or something like that, just like guys that playing at the high level of college football and stuff. They're always looking to go to a school that has a high education, unless they know that they're like one of the, 5-star top of the tier college recruits that they know, like I'm going to the league, like a guy, Trevor Lawrence coming out when he went to Clemson, these guys like that, when they know that they're going to be stars and they have that potential. It's different. Not to say that you don't. It's just, I feel like a lot of guys have started to grow towards looking for the best education along with the best program. And I think that's a good trend for guys,
which would be good for a school like BC because they have great educational
in comparison with football. I hate how basketball is like one and done. I actually like how guys have to go to school for football because you get an education, because in football, it's kind of like it's a mind tolling game. There's a whole CTE thing and all the concussions and all the stuff that it can bring to you. So going to a school where you can get a good education is great, because a guy like Luke Kuechly, he retired early to get away from that kind of thing. And to see guys continue to do that, like Calvin Johnson and all these other players that have started to retire early, or just guys that just decided that it's not for me to go and lose, my brain. I think it's smart just for you to say, like, I'm thinking beyond football, so I'm going to the school with the best education is like smart. It's just a smart move.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. Like, I mean, obviously the CTE stuff, I mean, it's real. So, like, it's also, like, it's not a game you should want to play for 20 years. Like, because, like I said, football lasts a short of, I mean, obviously, like, it depends on how long you play, but it's a fraction of your life. Like, there's a lot more life without football than there is life with football. So you really, like, you want to be healthy in that majority years that you're not playing football. So that's also a thing to think about, and get a good education, because I mean, you're going to need it at some point in your life, no matter what.
Yeah. Bosie, unless you have any more questions.
Well, I can ask a random question. How's life on campus, like being there right now? Is it, how's it been? So since you've been there, I don't know how long you've been there, but how's it going so far? Just especially being there early, it must be a little different than you would expect.
Yeah, so I moved in on January 24th, and it's kind of as expected. Like, obviously COVID, I mean, we could beat that into the ground forever, but obviously that's real, that's here, and there's a lot of protocols, a lot of restrictions. I mean, campus life, and like as a student, I mean, obviously it's pretty slow, like we're not allowed to do much. So, we make the most out of it. We do what we can do. We stay safe, because, I mean, we get too many positive tests and spring ball shut down, which you need spring ball to be good in the fall. So I was just trying to be.
Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
Is it an option for you guys to wear masks under your helmet? Is that a thing?
I mean, I guess you could, but I don't think anybody does.
You probably pass
at least,
out.
Yeah, I know. At
Like,
least last year,
I feel like a lot of guys have started to do that in like high school sports and stuff. I just didn't know if that was a thing in college, just because everyone's like freaking out about COVID and stuff.
Yeah. So in last year, at least, they had them wear the like in their face mask. It was like some like plastic like film they put over their face mask, which would like work in some way as a mask. It's kind of more protocol than anything. I'm not sure if we're gonna have to do this year or not, but it's like, no, we don't actually have to wear masks for our face though.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah, I mean, I know we like here we get tested twice a week, and my roommate's girlfriend actually goes to BC, and she said they've been kind of ramping up the random testing. They've been doing more and more. But I mean, yeah, I know protocols are kind of like, I mean, they're brutal, but like gotta follow them. I mean,
so it works.
Yeah.
I mean, we get tested 3 times a week doing the football team. So like, we're constantly we're all negative. So it's like,
makes you feel better.
It's safe.
Because
you guys are together all the time in lifts and stuff. So I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine you guys probably have to be tested a ton.
Oh yeah, we get tested Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
All right. Well, that's all I got. So that just about wraps up tonight's episode. So thank you, Casey, for joining us and taking the time to do this interview with us. We appreciate it.
Of course, it's fun.
All right. Peace.
See you guys.